Shalom. Call halal Yahawah Shemel Shabbat Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of GMS, even the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. Aqua that I listen, learn, being a pillar of rest. The 144,000, one-third, the hopeful elect of Israel, brother Yahawah. And damn, I just had a title for this and it just slipped me within a moment. The Most High is in control. Okay, these are all Esau's thoughts, right? And this is the wicked, right? Oh, Alistair here, unless he's one of us, right? Posing. This is a dyed in the wool Edomite Brit, right? But he's giving you the inside look into what Esau's thinking. He can tell you what Netanyahu's thinking. He can tell you what Trump's thinking. He can tell you what everybody's thinking, right? Now, for him to be a British diplomat, he's got to be juiced in. Especially in England, you have, some sort of caste system that you might not be. They have what they call the elite, right? And this is where really a lot of that secret society shit is really going on, right? In like the monarchy, for example. But anyway, this dude's juiced in, so he knows what's going on from the top, if you will. You have-nots, you Negroes, right? You lower class, middle class, right? Upper class, and then you got people that are, filthy rich. What are they doing? Well, he knows, right? And so he knows how things trickle down from there. When those people want things done and move the chessboard, that's where it's coming from. Then it gets to the level of commerce, and then it gets to the level of war. Right now we're at the level of war because commerce ain't working no more. Right? They want to do what they call their reset or whatever, and they're having trouble. Anyway, what he's going to explain is how these different heads are thinking. When he, and I know I'm talking too much, when he tells you what Trump is thinking that God is using him, which he is. Okay? That's all I'll say on that. So, before I let him talk, we'll just read this real quick. What are we looking for? So, okay. We'll read this. Because they're just throwing the Bible, the Edomites are just using the Bible and what God said for their own purpose. Just as bad as Alazar and crew, but, and the rest of them. Everybody's using the Bible. Anyway, this is for these Edomites real quick and the war that they're getting themselves into. Psalm 50 and 16, but unto the wicked, the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Okay, so let's read it up here. Most High said to the wicked, why bother reciting my decrees and pretending to obey my covenant? What right do you have to recite my laws or to take my covenant on your lips? So let's watch this, right? Because everybody, we're going to use the Samson option, or we're doing it. Well, God said we're going to Armageddon. They're just throwing words around, right? And using this. Well, God said that these things are going to happen. Well, watch these Edomites, boy. This fucking proud devil, right? Knowing that we're the children of Israel over here. So this is 2 hours ago. Judging Freedom with Judge Napolitano. Alistair Crook, Israel at war with itself. So this is the devil, right? Scrambling. And this guy's going to say some very, very profound things. Okay, this is very important information he's about to let forth, okay, if you will. I'm going to try not to stop it as much as I can. The president understands the middle. judge is about to ask a real important question and set it up. And then Alistair is going to give his synopsis on everything that's going on. Salakia.
Utilitarian pressures.
Yeah, I don't know if the president understands the Middle Eastern mind or if the Middle Eastern mind understands the president. I mean, when Donald Trump says, "Do as I say, or there will be hell to pay," to me, that is almost an incentive in the Middle Eastern mind to do whatever they want.
Okay, now listen closely to his response, because he's going to go straight biblical. When he said hell to pay, he's going to connect hell to the Bible right away, right? And then he's going to go into how Trump is using that and how Netanyahu is using that. So everybody's using Armageddon and hell, and he's going to weave it together so that you know how Esau is thinking, right, with what is going on. When we know the Most High is just controlling these people, right? And they think that he's altogether one as him, right? Listen.
To do the opposite of what he is commanding them not to do. Am I right?
Exactly, because, the people on the right, Ben Gvir and Smotrich are plain about it.
What he's talking about the two different sides in Israel fighting against it. They're having a civil war.
They talk about the big wars, they're talking about Armageddon. And so when Netanyahu says, I'll let hell loose on you, their answer is bring it on. Bring it on. That's exactly what we want, and we can complete the project. So we do have a...
So what he just said was this. When Trump says, we're going to unleash hell, Netanyahu's side of the Israeli civil war says this is what we want, because we're using the Bible and the Bible references to get away with cleansing the whole greater Israel for us. This is what he's saying. And that is very important. Netanyahu is using biblical references, right, to do ethnic cleansing for what they're calling, he just called it the project, which is the Greater Israel Project. You got to understand what the Greater Israel Project is. He just referred to it as the project, okay, which is ethnic cleansing up in the West Bank, all of that. When you understand what the Greater Israel Project is, this is what they're trying to achieve. And so they had to create a situation, which is that October 7th thing, right? That whole thing. But what they're doing is they're conducting the Greater Israel Project under the guise of Armageddon and the Bible. This is what he's explained. So I'm going to back it up a little so that you can hear him say it. And then he goes into it. So I'll try to be quiet.
Armageddon. And so when Netanyahu says, I'll let hell loose on you, their answer is bring it on. Bring it on. That's exactly what we want, and we can complete the project. So we do have a sort of nascent civil war taking place. And I call it the kingdom of Judea, which
Israel.
Is the settlers and all the element of the right, which is powerful and has its own military, has its own police, if you like. And on the other side, the conventional forces of the European secular liberal elites.
Now he's talking about Israeli politics, just like we have the left and the right, the Democrats and the Republicans fighting each other, about to kill each other. That's going on over there too. And he's explaining how those sides are working. Netanyahu's side is using the Bible and Armageddon. And the other side, the European, he's breaking down Israeli politics right now. But he's going to open it up to how Trump fits inside of that and how that is going to cause this war to just spiral. And because of how the Israelis are manipulating the world by saying, because we're taking their land, they're Amalek, and Alistair is going to say, you can call anybody Amalek and then take them down. So listen to what's being said. I know you don't understand me, but I'll try to make it clear at the end. So Salaki. But this is very important. You got to listen to this independently on your own.
Side, which is powerful and has its own military, has its own police, if you like. And on the other side, the conventional forces of the European secular liberal elites, who have the forces of the Law and Order Security Council. They have the old IDF, the old military establishment, and they have usually most of the press on their side.
So basically, I let him say all of that to say Israel is imploding from the inside, okay? With these guys that he's naming off, Smotrich, Ben Gavir, right? This new guy that they're about to fire, right? The head of Shin Bet, and I forget his name right now, but Ronan, whatever. They're crumbling from within, right? And the whole project is crumbling, right? So now they're about to get desperate.
So these are the two forces I think, are coming and going to likely clash. And it means that
now he's going to transition, watch.
Trump's tools of threat and trying to create the conditions for a negotiation. I mean, with that.
So back to Napolitano's initial question was, does Trump understand the Middle East, or does the Middle East understand Trump? He segues back to that now. Listen close to what he said.
And trying to create the conditions for a negotiation. I mean, with eschatological of people who are looking forward to redemption.
See, he goes straight into the Bible.
The Law and Order Security Council, they have the old IDF, the old military establishment, and they have usually most of the press on their side.
Went back too far. He's going to go into
these
Trump.
Are the two forces I think are coming and going to like.
Now he goes into Trump.
Listen. And it means that Trump's tools of threat and trying to create the conditions for a negotiation. I mean, with eschatological of people who are looking forward to redemption and to Armageddon taking place as a means to bring their project, to bring, because it's a completely different epistemological basis of thinking from Trump's. It is, this is revelation. And we are obliged, in the case of revelation, to obey and to abide by God's commandments. That's it.
Woo. You hear what this dude is saying? Here's what Trump is thinking. Motherfucker, I'm being guided by God. God's telling me what to do, so you're going to do what I say to do. Because God's making everybody do. This is what Trump is thinking, and he's doing this. He's saying
different epistemological basis of thinking from Trump's. It is, this is revelation. And we are obliged, in the case of revelation, to obey and to abide by God's commandments. That's it. There's no negotiation about this. This is revelation. It's not a matter for discussion.
Are you of the view that Donald Trump is sick and tired of Bibi Netanyahu, and that's why he has dispatched Mr. Witkoff and others to negotiate directly with Hamas? And if you are of that view, how does that play out in Israel?
Oh, he said some shit earlier about how Donald, or I don't know if it was Trump, but America went in directly to Hamas and was negotiating hostages behind Israel's back. I'm not sure if he mentions that right here, but that's information, right, that we don't even know about unless you do, man. I didn't know, but that's huge. And now they're so when America went in behind Israel's back to do hostage negotiation to get the American hostages out, Israel found out about it and talked much shit, and it caused a big rift. So this devil is fighting and biting his own tail right now. And these are things that we have to understand to know how desperate he is, that he's being forced to make his next move. All right, this is why these things are important. I'm trying to let it pick up from here.
In Israeli politics.
Well, Israel went mad when it discovered that. And there's an article that's been written, it's hidden behind you have to be a subscriber to read it properly. But essentially, it seems it was discovered by their Intercept, the equivalent of NASA, the Intercept Committee, 8,200 organization picked up somehow that this was happening, that the Americans were talking with Netanyahu, with Hamas directly. And they were furious with that. And they were furious that it was to bring back the American hostages. So they deliberately leaked it. And as the article describes it, immediately, Washington was astonished that, they were being attacked on all fronts about the envoy who had met with Hamas.
That is huge information. So when you have that, when a man of the Lord has that information, we're like that. Oh, these devils are fighting and backbiting and falling apart at the seams for real. But then in the media, see, you barely get to see shit like this. They're making themselves look like you were winning all wars and they haven't taken one lick. No, you motherfuckers are falling apart and getting your ass whooped. For real. They came up out of them tunnels looking good. So we got all our fighters right here. We're ready to go. Round 2, nigga, we ready. So what's really going on? They backbiting and fighting and going behind each other's back and, putting out dirty laundry. Are we going to use the media against you? This is what they're doing. Anyway.
And they managed to dismiss him. So it was deliberately sabotaged by Netanyahu and his group. And Netanyahu seems...
So they're sabotaging each other. Okay. You hear that?
So at the moment, determined to sabotage Witkoff's attempts at returning to the war in Gaza, to Witkoff's attempts to have the stage 2 of the ceasefire take place, because Netanyahu is determined to keep his government intact, and to do that, and to keep Gvir and Smotrich and the right involved in it, he needs to say, we are going back to war against Gaza. Even though it's a war that hasn't been successful, it has not achieved its ends.
Now listen very, very closely to what he's about to say, okay? Because they're going to accuse him of anti-Hashem for saying this, because he's bringing out, this is the cold, hard truth. We'll let him set it up again. He's talking about the war ain't going well. It ain't doing what you guys wanted it to do, and it's backfiring on you. And you can't go on doing what you're doing, blaming calling anybody who you want to ethnically cleanse. Watch, listen to what he said.
And the right involved in it, he needs to say, we are going back to war against Gaza. Even though it's a war that hasn't been successful, it has not achieved its ends, its objectives. Hamas is still in power, but nonetheless, that seems to be necessary to keep it's intact, and also necessary when I go back to what I was saying about the objects of the emergency or Armageddon or a big war, is to increase the war across the whole of Greater Israel, to remove the Arab presence, or expel those that will not leave voluntarily
for the project
from that area.
For the project.
Oh. Diets keep failing you?
Slovakia. I didn't expect to go this long, but it's necessary, so we'll just keep going.
quote an Israeli school child as
Here we
saying,
go. Listen to
how
this.
can we condemn Hamas for killing innocent men, women, and children on October 7th when we have been doing the same? Is that attitude beginning to become pervasive amongst Israeli society?
This is very important. Did you hear the question? Right? He said, what? A Palestinian, an Israeli school child asked the question. What was the question? Right? How are we right in their room?
Quote an Israeli school child as saying, how can we condemn Hamas for killing innocent men, women, and children on October 7th when we have been doing the same? Is that attitude beginning to become pervasive amongst Israeli society?
I think it's discomforting. It is more than discomforting. It is creating amongst some, amongst others, absolutely not. But many people, it is raising the question. I mean, how do we go on in this way? Is it really possible to continue on the basis that we assume that anyone that is not a Jew wants to kill Jews and therefore they are Amalek and we must destroy them? Is this the future to replace the Ben Gurion model of deterrence that we now have to become really a sort of a project, a killing machine project in order to preserve Israel and to keep it? How do we keep our values? How do we keep what Israel stands for in this context? Is that really the basis on which the society can come? Well,
that's exactly what Amalek. I mean, that's exactly what so-called Israel or the Israelis stand for. You're seeing it firsthand. Okay, if it was about peace, it would be peace. There's no peace. Okay, the devil can't have peace. The devil can only have chaos. He doesn't know peace. Okay, his soul is not upright in him. I'm gonna let this finish. I'm gonna get one precept.
Is the issue that's tearing Israel apart, and why I'm saying,
and that's the issue. Israel is being torn apart. All of this is about Israel being torn apart. Israel at war with itself. So this is very good, right? When he said this is so everybody that, what did he say, doesn't like Jews is Amalek, and he goes into this whole thing. So if you don't like what we're doing, you're Amalek and we can kill you. That's what he's saying. That was vicious.
How to keep what Israel stands for. On the basis that we assume that anyone that is not a Jew wants to kill Jews, and therefore they are Amalek, and we must destroy them.
That's the tactic that they're using right there. Okay. And here it is, they're Amalek. Anyway, all right. You're turning of things upside down. Let me get that real quick on the way out. Slovakia, I'm just going in the spirit, right? You're turning. How about that? Let's get 15 first. Let's go here. Isaiah 29:15. What sorrow awaits those who try to hide their plans from the Lord, right? Who do their evil deeds in the dark. The Lord can't see us, they say. He doesn't know what's going on. How foolish can you be? He's the potter. He is certainly greater than you, the clay. Is that what I wanted? Slovakia. What am I looking for? You're turning the things upside down. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm going to read the King James Slovakia. Let me go back then. Let me read 15. Salakia, bear with me. Isaiah 29 and 15 in the King James. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us? This is Amalek turning things. And who knoweth? It's talking about Esau, right? And who knoweth us? We do, nigga. We know who you are. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay, for shall the word say of him that made it, he made me not, or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding. So anyway, very interesting information. So as we can see, let's get this on the way out. Okay. As you can see that this dude's scrambling. He's fighting everybody around him and himself, calling everybody. See, what is causing this devil to lose it like that, he's being revealed that, nigga, you calling everybody in your immediate area Amalek as you try to exterminate, nigga, you're Amalek and we're saying it out loud. Okay? Revelation 12 and 12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, so-called white man Esau, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. This devil knows it. He's squabbling, right? How can his kingdom stand? Because you say that I cast out demons in Beelzebub and so on. Matthew 12, and I believe this is 25. Knowing their thoughts, Yahawah said to them, every kingdom divided against itself will be laid waste, and every city or household divided against itself will not stand. If Satan drives out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then can his kingdom stand? And this is what we see. BB, right, is gone mad, right, according to this guy. Anyway, with that, we'll go ahead and close. So we're just that much closer, because all the devil can do, right, is be the devil, right? And what does that mean? Eventually, he's going to kill himself. He's going to unleash them weapons, the Most High's missiles, on himself. Okay? He is bound. As long as he's in power, what can he do? All he can do is destroy, so he can destroy. There's nobody else to destroy, all right? Anyway, let me get 1 Peter. 1 Peter 4 and 7. At the end of all things is at hand, be ye therefore sober and watch on the prayer. With that, we hope the elect were edified, you brothers and sisters. Shalom.